All right, so in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how I made this effect so that you can then use the same techniques and make your own version out of them. Okay, so just before we continue, I just gotta mention something. So I just wanna get it out of the way from the beginning so that you're not distracted for the rest of the video. So a few days ago, my dog Wilson sat on my glasses. So in the meantime, until I get them fixed, this is kind of what I'm stuck with. But honestly, it's not that bad. Anyways. So this specific effect is actually inspired by a music video that came out a while ago by Mild Minds. This effect that they did is actually really cool and they executed it perfectly. But honestly, it's not that hard of an effect to do, which is why I'm going to be showing you so that you can do it. So obviously, step number one is getting your footage. The reason why this very simple effect looks so cool is because of the parallax depth that the effect is giving off. And the way to get that is when you're filming, you have to start on one side of your subject and move straight to the other side. Now you wanna make sure to keep your camera straight, pointing directly ahead as you move left to right or right to left, whatever direction you're going in. You're automatically gonna want to try to orbit around your subject, meaning aiming the camera at the person in the middle, but you don't want that because then the effect isn't gonna work. So again, what you wanna do is make sure that when you're filming, you're walking from one side to the other, maintaining the camera looking straight ahead so that the subject is passing from one side of the frame to the other. You're then going to want to repeat that same motion like 4 or 5 times, but in different locations. Now, a few things to keep in mind when filming is that you always want to make sure that every shot is the same. Meaning in every single shot, you want to start from the left and walk towards the right, or from the right to the left. Just make sure that every single time you film, it's the same in each one. You also want to make sure the same distance is between you and the subject in every single video. And lastly, try to remember to film at the same speed. Later on, we can adjust the speed and we're going to either way, but just try to walk at that same tempo. So once you have all of your videos done, the next thing is to start editing. In my case, I'm using After Effects, but I think you can do this effect in almost any editing program that you have at your disposal. Okay, so step number one is lining up all of your footage to make sure that your subject is moving at the same speed in every single video. I found that the easiest way to do this is to line up each video inside a frame and then play with the speed of each individual video to match all the other ones. Now the next step is that you want to make sure that your subject is the same size in every single video. It may have been that your subject was too far away from the camera or too close, but you want to match the subject in every single video as close as possible. So the way I did it is I layered each video on top of each other and then lowered the opacity a little bit one by one, matching the scale to the first layer. You just keep doing this until the subject is the same size in every video. So once you finish with that, you're gonna wanna line up the videos in the order that you want. Now here comes the fun part. Now in the music video itself, we see that they did a lot of intentional masking when the camera is moving. But here is where I kind of cheated the effect a little bit. So I ended up making my own assets. If you want this asset that I use, you can download it in the link down below.
So the first thing you want to do is get rid of the black background. So I'm going to be using the extract effect. And then just duplicate that layer a few times and move each layer down the timeline where each one is evenly spaced. Once you have a few laid out, you should have something looking like this. Now grab the footage that we used earlier and we're just going to play with the position and the scale and make sure that's within that first stripe. Then we're going to alpha matte track it to that first stripe so that it's only visible on that first one. And then you're just going to repeat that same step with each stripe, just adding a different video every time. Once you've done that, you're going to want to pre-compose all those videos and leave that layer on top to make sure that it's covering the bottom layer. The next step is to now resize and play with the position of the bottom layer to make sure it matches with the rest of the footage. We're also going to mask out this video so that's underneath the other layer. And we're just going to keyframe position the mask of this video. And then just repeat that same step with the remaining gaps, and boom, that's it.
I then finished up my video by doing some color grading and adding some sound design. And if you do all that, this is pretty much what you should end up with. So yeah, that is how I made the Mild Minds camera panning parallax 3D effect. and made my own version out of it. I really hope that you learned something new and are able to apply this technique on one of your videos. If you do end up making your own version and posting it, please tag me. I would love to see your version of the effect. Please go ahead and comment down below if you have any requests on effects that you've seen me do, of tutorials that you want. But yeah, I'm going to go try to figure out how to fix these glasses. See you next time.